Welcome to Tuesdays at 2. It's Melinda here with the Coaches Console, and I want to welcome everybody back for another great topic. Today's topic is all about pages and menus and sidebar boxes. This is one of the new features in version 3. So some of this that I'm going to be talking about, if you have version 2, you have this. You'll be able to use it and implement it right away. If you haven't converted over to version 3 yet, not a big deal. And for those of you using version 3, there's a feature that's new in version 3 that you have access to. And I want to make sure that everybody knows that. So when you're creating pages in your website and adding menus in your website, you've got the flexibility to customize each page depending on the type of page you're creating. So that's going to be in the first half of the training. And in the second half, we'll open it up to general Q&A time for those that are on the line. So let's get started with today's topic. Where we're going to be spending our time is in the website module. And again, what I'm looking at is version 3. For all of the new boot campers that have just enrolled into boot camp, that are getting started with boot camp actually this week, as of the moment we're doing this live recording, you all already have version 3. You've got it, it's in place, you're making use of the latest and greatest version of the Coaches Console system. There's nothing for you to do. You've got it already. Now, on this training, we have a lot of existing Coaches Console members. You do not yet have version 3 as of the date of this training. So what you're looking at is, if you're an existing Coaches Console member and you've been with us longer than 2 weeks, what you're looking at on the screen looks very different from what it looks like when you log into your console account. So we're kind of in this bridge point where our new boot campers already have version 3, and we're beginning to roll out the version 3 to our existing members. And that's going to happen over the course of the next several weeks as we roll out in phases and batches. So what I'm going to be doing on this training today is I'm going to be showing you everything in version 3. And then in the latter half, if you have questions and you're a version 2 user, we can go back and forth and I'll show you version 2, etc., and so on. So what we're looking at is version 3. And where we're going to be spending our time on this particular training is under the website module. And when we click on website, this is where you're going to see pages, menus, and even sidebar boxes right here. Where we're going to spend most of our time is under pages. In version 3, when you click on a page, and let's just say that I'm going to work with the bio page. Now in this training account, I've got a lot of pages I've already been creating as I do all these trainings. As you're using your own console system, you'll be building these pages and you'll add pages, and your list of pages in your website will grow over time. Okay? All right. With the page, there's different kinds of pages that you can create. It can be a website page for marketing purposes. It can be a home page where you have an opt-in form. It could be an opt-in page. It could be a sales page where you're selling a product or a program for a promotion. It can be a bio page where you need to tell people about yourself. So you have a number of different pages. And whenever you create the page, there are a number of components to your page. There's the page title. And a little tip that I want to tell you about the page title is whatever you type into this field, like here it says bio, whatever you type into this field, that's what's going to show up at the top of the page itself. So let me show you an example of what I'm talking about. Let me switch screens here. Here's a sample website, right? This is the template that comes with your console system. Now each of you, you're customizing your template. So your business name or your logos here in the upper left, you're choosing what graphic you want to upload. You're selecting your own background color. So it's going to have your branding on it. But for example, I have the menu About Us, Meet Your Coach. And then when I click on that, that displays my bio page. And whatever I type in that page title is going to display here in the top, at the top of this page as a headline. So for example, you could get clever with it. And when I go to edit this bio page, instead of just being a boring bio, I could say, Meet Your Coach. And when I save my changes, let me scroll to the bottom and click Save. When I save my changes and I preview that, let me go back to that page and refresh it. what I've typed into that page title is now going to display. Hang on, let me make sure you guys are catching up with me. There we go. You guys should see that refreshed. And now the title, the page title, Meet Your Coach. So you can leverage that page title as a headline, as a hook for attention grabbing. Whatever you type in that page title is displayed at the top of the content of the page. Okay. All right, I just want to do a quick sound check. We've got a comment from Pierre that there's an echo on and off. Susie's reminding me to stay by my microphone. I get to talking with my hands and I go all over the place. So let me adjust my microphone. Hold on. Okay, sounds great. Sounds great for most everybody else. Okay, so it looks like we do have a good connection. I will do my best to not talk with my hands too much. And we'll keep going. All right, good deal. But keep me posted. Okay, so that's the first tip, is the page title is used and displayed at the top of the page like that. The next tip that I want to share with you, whenever you create your page, there is a standalone page URL for every page you create in your console system. Now, a lot of pages that you create on your website, people are going to be able to get to by clicking on a menu on your website. Let me show you what I mean. If I click on Home, I can see this page where there's home content, right? If I click on About Us or Meet Your Coach, I see the page. And so I can access the page content from menus. If I click on Products and Services, so on and so forth. So a lot of the content that's on pages, I can access by menus or submenus. At times, you might have an opt-in page that you create with a custom opt-in form, or you might have a sales page with a buy now button, and you don't want people to get to it from your main website. Only if maybe you have a series of emails that you have in a campaign that you're sending from your console system, and you only want them to access that opt-in form page or that sales page from the promotions that you're doing in an email. So every page has a standalone page URL that you can include in email messages or provide to other people if they need to promote a certain page of yours. Okay? So you'll, at any time, whenever you edit any page, you will see the standalone page URL. You can always just copy it, highlight it, copy it, and paste it wherever you need to provide access to that specific page. And then you'll see your content. And this is where you format the content that's going to display when people click on the menu or click on the link that you gave them. Now, I'm not going to go into this call. I'm not going to go into the details of using the content editor. You can find that in the support center. There's other videos that we've done about that. But you can use it. Works much like a Word document. So, I've bolded stuff. I've turned phrases into hyperlinks. So you can use the icons within the content editor if you have videos that you want to insert, images and graphics. Like you can see I added my bio image here using that image button. And you can use the content editor to format this the way you want it. And then down at the bottom, this is another option that I want to point out, edit sidebar boxes. And in version 3, this is a new feature that gives you more customizing capabilities so that you can have a page function based on the kind of page you're creating. So let me show you, for example. If I were using my Coaches Console website and somebody comes to my homepage, I want the hook, I want the page title of my homepage to be attention, whatever my niche is. So it's like, oh, if I'm a small business owner and I come to this website, I'm like, oh, I'm in the right place. I'm a small business owner and they've got my attention. And on this page, here's content about my niche. And the call to action that I want the primary call to action when somebody comes to my homepage, I want them to opt into my free report. So I want to have this opt-in form displayed in the side column of my homepage. The secondary call to action, and the only other thing that I would want somebody to do if they come to my homepage, is book a complimentary consultation. So I also have that action item turned on in the side column of my website. And then I want to make sure that I reinforce the visitor with evidence to the services I provide. So I might list a client testimonial or two in the side column, right? And so I have these elements turned on in the side column. I don't want them to be a distraction. I want them to be the primary and secondary call to action that I want them to take, or supporting evidence for the action I want them to take. So with that being said, in my console system, when I'm editing a page, let's say that I want to edit that welcome page. Here's my attention small business owner, right? I use that attention small business owner as the page title, so it was the hook on the page. Here's my content. And down below that, I'm going to see the sidebar boxes, the elements that I can turn on to display in those side columns. And you can see I've got the free gift opt-in turned on. I have the sidebar box to book a sample session, a complimentary session, and I have the testimonials, right? Now in your console system, the opt-in sidebar box is already pre-configured. You can turn it on or off. And the same is true with the complimentary session. We've already pre-configured that for you. You can customize it and you can turn it on and off. All of these others that you see listed here, I've created those by adding sidebar box. So you could add a testimonial sidebar box and turn it on. And that's what I've chosen to turn on for my homepage. Those are the three most effective sidebar elements to have on for your homepage of your marketing website. You want to have those three elements on the homepage. So I've turned those on. But let's take a look at the bio page. So here I am looking at my website template, About Us, Meet Your Coach. So here's my bio page. This is about me. Now, once somebody comes to this page of my website, most likely they've already opted in. So at this point, when they're really getting to know more about you, the next call to action is to book a sample session. So you can see I turned off my opt-in form on my bio page, and the main call to action is for somebody to book a sample session with me. And again, I might have a client testimonial to give evidence as me as a coach working with my clients so that people will book that sample session. And so you can customize what action items are turned on in the side column of your web pages. So again, when I'm editing my pages, and I click on the Meet Your Coach bio page, I scroll down below the content. Here's the sidebar boxes. You see the only two that I have turned on is to book a sample session and the testimonials. And so you can change it for every page that you create. For example, if you're creating a sales page, or some people call it a squeeze page, you actually don't want any sidebar boxes. You don't want any distractions. You want to squeeze the reader to scroll right down the page. You want them to read down the page and take the one call to action, which is purchasing your product, at the bottom of your sales page. So you can turn off sidebar boxes and you don't have to have any displayed. So if you have a sales page like the Courage, Risks, and Rewards, for example, this is a little mini example of a sales page. The only thing we want them to do on this page is to register for this program. We want them to buy this program. We don't want any side elements displayed distracting them. So we've turned them all off. So you have that ability to customize what's displayed and what's not within each page of your console system. Okay. All right, we've got a couple questions here. So one question is from Catherine. Catherine asks, does the testimonial have to be a client from Coach's Console, or can we craft testimonials from work prior? Yeah, Catherine, with testimonials, you actually want to interview your clients that you've worked with, and you want to get testimonials from them. In fact, in boot camp, we go through how to do that in one of the later sessions. So we're going to walk you through getting effective testimonials. But in the meantime, in your console system, pre-uploaded into everybody's Coach's Console system under Forms. So under Website module, click on Forms. One of the forms you'll see is a testimonial form. And there are very basic questions. There's 5 basic questions that you want to ask somebody, and the answers to those questions provide your testimonial. You take their answers, mush them together in a paragraph or two, and that becomes your testimonial. So yeah, Catherine, that would be, if you've worked with former clients, then you may want to go back to 1 or 2 or 3 of them and have them complete this testimonial form. You can just ask them the questions over the phone, write down their answers. You can send them to this form in your private client website, and they can complete the answers online. But you want to have testimonials specific to you, no matter when. Like if you've been using Coaches Console to support your clients or before, like it doesn't matter when, just they were a client of yours. Okay. Ooh, Debbie has a great question about testimonials. As a brand new life coach who is still deciding on a specific niche, what do you use for testimonials on your opt-in page or sales page when you're new? This is a great question, and a spot that you're not alone in. There's a lot of folks on the line that are brand new, getting started. They don't have any clients yet. And I'll share with you what I did until I could collect testimonials from actual clients. 2 things. Typically, the niche that you pick is somewhat related to your own life journey, your own life experiences. And so instead of using testimonials on the side column, I would use short descriptions of how I took myself through my own transformation as an example of what I do with my clients. That's one way you can do it. The other thing that I did was when I was in my coach training, and I had, like in my coach training, they would partner us up with like peer buddy, they called them buddy coaches, so we could practice. And I would have them give me a testimonial. What was it like working with Melinda as your coach? And so they'll speak to more, instead of speaking to the results that they got, they'll speak more to their experience in the process of coaching. So those are great ways to get started until you can collect your own testimonial. Okay. Okay, so Leanne asked the question, how do we create a new sidebar box? Let me show you how to do that, because there's a couple of ways that you can do that. Let's go back to pages. So at any page, I'm just going to go back and use that bio page as an example. Any page in your console system, when you scroll down past the title, past the URL, past the content, and you'll see the edit sidebar boxes, you will see there's 2 sidebar boxes already configured in every console system. Here I'm showing you more, but at the very bottom, you'll see the ability to add a sidebar box right here. So you could either click right here on the specific page and create a new sidebar box, or the second place, Leanne, is over here on the left-hand side under the website module. There's the ability to look at, review, and edit any and all sidebar boxes, no matter what page you want them displayed on. Okay, so when you click on sidebar boxes, then you'll see the second way to accomplish the same exact thing is to add a sidebar box. So we give you 2 different locations to add a sidebar box. It gives you a title, like testimonial, and then you can just enter your content, and you can format it with an image, a video, whatever, format it with the styling, font color, font sizes, and all that kind of stuff. And then you'll have it available to turn on or off for any of the pages. Okay. And Catherine, you asked the question, how do you create that testimonial sidebar? Exactly like that. So you've got 2 different ways. You can do it from the bottom of pages and click add sidebar, or under website sidebar boxes, click add sidebar box. Okay. Let's see. Serpentessa asked a question. I'm wondering if Coaches Console has the capacity to include a 15 to 25-second photo booth video. Yeah. The only thing that Coaches Console does, let me be really clear about this, we don't host your video. So you have to host your video somewhere, such as the place that we recommend is YouTube, like YouTube or Vimeo, because those are, YouTube, for example, it's the most widely recognized format, so that anybody that comes to your website on any computer, any browser, any device, anytime will be able to view it, right? So you want to host your video on something like a YouTube or a video, your own personal channel, and then you can add that. So for example, let's say that you had a little 15 segment testimonial from a raving fan. right? You could edit your testimonial sidebar, for example. Let's just edit that. I included a picture, but you could easily, just as easily, you'll see the little film strip icon, insert edit video. You could click on that and insert the URL source, or you could embed code. So if you get all fancy and you know the code, you can do it that way. Or if you just know, like me, I would go and copy the YouTube URL and paste it here under the source code and click OK. And that would insert a little video testimonial on the sidebar box. So you can do that as well. You can do that on the sidebar box or right on the page, either way. Okay. Christy says, do you share your testimonial and other useful forms with us to give us ideas? Absolutely, Christy. All of these things that I'm telling you, it's all pre-uploaded in your console system. So under forms, you'll see the intake form, goals, call strategy, testimonial form. You'll see they're all pre-uploaded in your system. They're there for you to use exactly as they are. They're there for you to say, that's nice, but no thanks, and ignore them. You edit them, do whatever you want to with them. Okay. Delia, I think that's how I pronounce your name, Delia, forgive me if I'm not saying it correctly, is asking, are there pre-uploaded headers for the side boxes? There aren't, because each of you have your own niche, each of you have your own desire, your own call to action, and so you can upload your own images. You can go to something like iStock Photo and get images and upload them in your sidebar box, okay? Henry asks, as part of the Easy Breezy Bootcamp, can you send us all the sidebar boxes you show us in this webinar? Then we can just tweak them to work for us. Well, Henry, I've already shown you. It's as simple as this. Under pages, there's like if you wanted to add testimonials to your bio page, under your bio page, you would just simply click. It's super easy. You click Add Sidebar, and you would say testimonial. Of course, you would spell it and all that. And then you have to get the testimonial. That's not something that we can provide because it has to be a true testimonial from your client. So you go ask those questions of your client, whatever their answers are, enter answers here, and click Save. Done. So it's not anything for us to provide. It's that simple for you to create. Okay. And in Bootcamp, we're going to give you a lot of templates and scripts for you to use. So don't worry, we'll give you that as well. Okay, Ed, you've got a question about your calendar. Let me just go through a few more questions and answer those that are specific to this topic of pages and sidebar boxes. And let me just make a note, and I'll circle back and get your question in just a few moments, okay? So sit tight. I just wanted to acknowledge your question. Let's see. Oh, gosh, you guys have got great questions. Hang on, I'm keeping up. When I edit, I'm getting a hashtag at the end of each sentence. How do I just get a period? Carol, a lot of times if you're getting funny symbols like hashtags, or sometimes you might see upside down question marks, or you might see a little black diamond, a lot of times that's coming as a result of copying from like a Word document or another program. You copy text and you paste it into like the sidebar box or the page content, and you paste it. So if I were to do a copy and paste right into, instead of typing, if I pasted the information here, you might inadvertently paste hidden code from the Word document, for example, and that hidden code that you don't even realize is there, I know it's getting kind of funky, but it happens, will cause funny and funky symbols like the upside down question mark or hashtags or a funny little black diamond or weird apostrophes when there shouldn't be, or dashes, things like that. And the best way, do you see in this content editor, it says paste as text. It has a little clipboard with a Word document and the letter T on it. Paste as text. You want to paste as text first and then format it using the content editor, whether you're on a page or a sidebar box or something like that, and that should clear away any funky symbols. So I could get a whole lot more technical than that. I don't think I need to. If you want me to, let me know. But that should do it. Jean asked the question, how many of these features can we use in Coaches Console if we have our own website front end already? Actually, Jean, so a couple things that I'm talking about today. I'm talking about the opt-in form as a sidebar box, or I'm talking about scheduling a sample session. You can use those elements. For example, here under websites, you have the ability to create custom opt-in forms. You can create a custom opt-in form and place that on your existing website. Now, for Coaches Console members that are using their console website, we already did that work for them. But when you create a custom opt-in form, you can take that form and you can insert that onto your existing website. So all of these elements you can take and use on your existing website. We show you how to do that. We break it down depending on what feature or what element you want to use. We also break that down in Bootcamp, and we do have some video tutorials in the Support Center about that as well, depending on specifically what element do you want to use. Karen asked the question, if you use YouTube video, do I risk the client going off on other YouTube videos after viewing yours? Then I've lost them potentially from my site because they got distracted. There's a couple of ways when you add a video. You'll see this in the support tutorials, and we'll cover it throughout Bootcamp and whatnot. But when you insert a video, you always want to open it in a new window. So when that video is done and they close that window, your website is still there. So you always want to open it in a new blank window for that specific reason. And when they're done, they close the window. And it's also why you want to, like, for example, have your own video channel on YouTube and put all your videos there. So if they do get sidetracked, it's your other public videos that they're looking at. But when they close that browser window after they're done watching their video, your website is still there and they're not lost. Okay. All right, we've got several other questions that are coming in about themes, logos, pages, stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up to any question. And Ed, let me go back and start with yours. Hang on, let me get back to it. Where are you? There we go. Ed, you were talking about, I think you actually had a couple questions. There you go. You were talking about you modified your free session from 45 minutes to 30 minutes. How do I now adjust my calendar for 45-minute sessions instead of 30? So, Ed, when you're in your console system and you click on calendar, when you click on available time, you can do this a couple ways. You can say it's going to start at 8 a.m. and it's going to end at 8:30 a.m. And you can simply adjust the stop time and update that so it shows on the calendar. If you already have existing blocks of available time on your calendar and you want to edit that, if you've already added in 45-minute blocks of available time, you can just click edit. Click actually right on, you'll see the block of available time that I have on my calendar already. You can click on that and click edit, click the edit button, and just change the stop time. And you can just type right in. Whatever the duration is, you can type that right in, or on the half hour, we give you a pull down menu, but you're not limited to that. You can just, if you wanted to start at 8:15 and go to 8:45, you can do that as well. So you can type it in or you can select it from the list, either way. And then just click save, and that'll save your changes. And it'll update the spot on your website. So now it reflects that, okay? Okay, couple of other questions. Hold on. Okay, Mel asked a question. Does a blog have to be hosted on another location or can be hosted on Coaches Console? There's two ways that I'll answer that, Mel. Actually, I would answer that with a question. I know that sucks when people do that, right? But I'm going to do it to you. So my question to you would be, when you have a blog, is it simply an article that you post, or do you allow comments? If you allow comments, then you would want to have a simple blog site, a simple blog page where you can post a little article, and it has the capability built into that blog page where people can make comments. You can see those comments and then you can respond. If it's a simple article, like a lot of our members, in fact, I was talking to a member at the end of last week about this. Her blog, she doesn't allow comments to be posted. She just simply posts an article. So what we discovered with her is she could actually get rid of her blog site, and she can just use the newsletter feature in her console system, because that newsletter will post an article and it will archive that article on her website. So people can always go back and see past issues. And if she wanted to, she could change the name of newsletter. She could change it to blog. So if you don't want comments, or you don't allow comments, it's just an article that you're putting out there on a regular basis, use the newsletter feature. Gets archived to your website. People see it. If you do want comments, then you'll need to have a separate blog site or a simple blog page. And then you can connect that with your console system. Okay? Oh gosh, hang on. You guys lost sound. Wait a minute. Am I back? Hang on. Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now, am I back, and is it clear? All right, hold on. It's still not good. Wait, hang on just 1 second, guys. Okay, what about now? Can you guys hear me okay? Is it still choppy? Better? Oh, good. We're all set. Okay, thank you, guys. There was something going on with my headset. I think my headset's about to be done. So let me repeat that just in case it was too garbled for anybody to hear. Thanks for letting me know. So Mel's question was, can I do a blog site, or do I need to do something different? And my question to Mel was, if you want comments, if it's an article that you post and you want people to comment and you respond, then you'll need to go get a blog site and connect it to your console system. If it's just articles, like I was talking with one of our members, and she doesn't allow comments, but she issues these articles, I think every other week it is. And so if it's just articles, then you can use the newsletter feature in your console system, because as you send out a newsletter to all your prospects, for example, all those articles get posted on your website, and so that anybody that comes to your website can see those past posts. And Mel responded with, it's just simple articles to drive search engine optimization. And so you don't even need to get a blog site, Mel. In your console system, under Communicate, you would use the newsletter feature. You would send that out. You would create a newsletter. You would send that out to your prospects, and as you send it out, it's going to archive it automatically on your website. Okay. Let me go back and let's get some more questions here. Now I gotta, hang on, just bear with me because I gotta get through the comments. Okay. Mel also asked another question. If forwarding a URL to Coach's Console, is there a way to use search engine optimization? Here's the key about search engine optimization. Search engine optimization is only a tiny percent about your URL and only a tiny percent about your website. One of the reasons that we provide the template that we provide to our members is because there are elements in your website that need to be included to be favored by Google, which is what gets you ranked. For example, your logo, your menus, at the very bottom, having an address displayed, having another phone number displayed, having certain elements in your website, having the ability to connect with Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, all of that stuff, YouTube, all of that, having those elements incorporated into your website also plays a percentage in search engine optimization, but that too is a tiny percentage. The biggest impact of search engine optimization is twofold. Consistently updating the content on your site, like Mel was talking through articles. So always adding new material. And the biggest component is having your links on other people's websites Like Mel, you might find a referral partner that has your website listed on a resource page, or having other people actively promote your link. That activity is what drives search engine optimization. Now, this is a whole topic that we could spend the next 6 months on. So I'm going to mention and just simply say that broad statement. But Mel, the answer is if you forward your URL, that's fine. As long as the URL, whatever URL you're using, your registered domain name, just keep using that URL. Wherever the content is, that's okay. Okay. Okay, Carol asks, I have a web designer who is just finishing up my WordPress website. How can she access my desired forms and easily integrate these? Not a big deal, Carol. So with your existing website, and we're going to be going through this in boot camp as well. We're going to cover this in the first 2 sessions because I see several of you in boot camp that are asking similar questions right now. I'm going to give you this example. Let me open up a new screen here. valnelson.com. She's an existing member of ours. I don't know if she's on, is Val on the line? I don't think she's on today's training. But she's an existing member of ours. This is an existing website she had. She's been using it for years. I think she's been a member of ours for 6, 7, 8 years, something like that. She's been using this website that long. And so it's perfect that you already have an existing website. Not a big deal at all, Carol. There's one element that I want to make sure that this is the only thing that your website designer needs to know. You want to tell your website designer, add a menu, client login. Tell her to add that menu, and that client login is connected to your Coaches Console URL. So when clients come to your existing WordPress website that's just being finished built, they'll click on this menu. And when they do, then they are taken to the homepage of your Coaches Console website. I'm about to click this on Val's website, and you're going to see Val's Coaches Console website display. So I click it. Now this is the website that Val has with the Coaches Console. She branded it consistently. And now she welcomes her members, her clients, with some instructions, and they can log in. Okay, so that's one thing that you need to do, Carol. The other thing that there's 2 more pieces I would recommend. In your console system, under website, custom opt-in form, and you don't have to do this right now. You can do this over the next week or 2 as we go through this in boot camp. You'll create a custom opt-in form for your free gift. And I'm going to walk you through this. You can see this in the support center if you need to. But with this custom opt-in form, you can manage the opt-in form, the contacts, the autoresponders, and everything from your console system. And the very last step, we give the code so that your website designer can paste the code of this opt-in form on your existing website. Same is true with your calendar link. So those are the 3 things that you want to include on your existing WordPress website. The custom opt-in form, your calendar link, and the client login menu. Okay, Carol? Okay, let's see, a couple more questions. Let's go back. Where are they? Hang on. Oh my gosh, hold on. I'm still with you. You guys haven't lost sound. Okay, here we go. Another question that came in is, oh, wait. Donna asks, how do you upload your brand logo above your header image? Donna, when you are in website, under theme, when you click to preview and customize your theme, it opens a new browser window. And at the very bottom, you'll see branding. See this branding? And when you click branding, that's where you can upload your logo. Upload your thumbnail, and it will display it on your website. Simple as that. All right, Carol says, I edited a page and saved at the top save button. Then I went in and the information is gone. Is it hiding somewhere? I later saw the big save button at the bottom, and that works. When you're editing pages, let me just go there and show you. So let's say we're editing our bio page. So when you're editing the bio page, any page that you're editing, the save button is in the big orange save button. You want to make sure you click save to save your changes. Okay, that's true with anything that you're editing in your console system, whether it's contact information, an invoice, a newsletter you're working on, a page you're editing, a sidebar box you're creating. You always want to look for the orange save button and click to save your changes that way. You always want to click that orange save button. Okay. Henry asked a question, I can't get the copy to show up to the right of my photo in the bio page. The copy keeps moving below. Let's go take a look at that since we happen to be on the bio page. So Henry, here's your image, right? You use the insert edit image icon to upload your picture. And when you click on this, Henry, there's actually two tabs. There's a general tab, then there's an advanced tab. If you want to have your picture displayed in a certain way relative to the text, you'll see the align pull down menu. And so if you want the picture to display to the left of the text, click to the left. And then the text will display, the picture will be to the left, so on and so forth. So use that pull down menu, Henry. Okay. It's found within the insert edit image icon, and it's that second tab, advanced. And you'll see that align pull down menu. Leanne says, can you please cover again the forms are connected to and the pages are connected to? Yeah, so just a quick distinction. Let me use the website, Leanne. In fact, let me use this screen right here. Here we go. The labels at the top here, these are what we refer to as menus. They're just labels is all this is. It's just a label. Home, about us, you have sub-menus that are labels. And when you click on a menu or a sub-menu, when you click on that label, Meet Your Coach, then it displays a page. And the page is where the content exists, right? So here's the page. Here's the content. And so page is where you edit the content that people actually see. Menu is what you create and connect with a page so that when people click on the menu, they see a specific page. So menus and pages are connected. The same is true with forms. You can, in your private client website, let me just go under menus. So here's all the menus. And when you scroll down, here's forms. And you can see with the golden lock, these are private. So just anybody that comes to your public website can't see this. They actually have to be logged in as a client. But you can see there's forms. And so forms are also linked with menus, so people can see those forms and click on the menu to access that actual form itself. Okay. Dr. Rashawn says, editing the URL. I'm thinking you're talking about the pages, Dr. Rashawn. Within each page that you create, each page has a URL, and you can't change, the only way to change that URL is to change the page title. You'll see that there's a format. It has your website prefix, followed by .coachesconsole.com, followed by the page title, .html. There's no way you can change this page URL. Now, what you can do, because sometimes it's like, I don't want to use that convoluted page URL. That's awful long. When you're working in your Coaches Console pages, newsletter, sidebar boxes, anywhere you want to include a link to a page, all you have to do is click here to access this whole page. Just type in a phrase of any sort, highlight that phrase, and then use this insert edit link icon. Use that link list pull down menu, and you can scroll down and say, I want this to be attached to, and you can pick your page. Meet Your Coach. I want it to be attached to the bio, and click OK. And now this phrase, which is a kind of a call to action phrase that looks nice, it's clean, it's a call to action, it's a hyperlink to that long convoluted URL. Okay, so there's no need to edit the URL, which you can't, but you can create that text using that insert edit link icon from your content editor. Bruce asked the question, is there a form or an initial free strategy session in the system? Yeah, Bruce, it's actually one of the things that we highly recommend with your console system. So there's a few things. In the sidebar boxes, when you click on sidebar boxes, you're going to see the complimentary consultation. We've already configured that sidebar box in your console system. You can edit the text that displays. So for example, Ed was talking about how he does 30-minute consultations. So he might edit, or he might call it. Maybe he doesn't call it a complimentary. Maybe he calls it a jumpstart. So you can edit this. You can customize this, so on and so forth. So you can customize the sidebar box. And then you can also use a form. There's what we call a sample session prep form. So under forms, there's a form that you can send to people that have booked a sample session with you. It's called Sample Session Prep Form. It's pre-uploaded into your system, and it's a few simple questions for them to complete to make the most of that initial free strategy with you. Okay, so that is also uploaded in your console system for you to use. Carol says, can you re-show me where to get rid of that hashtag, the question box? Okay, so Carol, let's go. I'm going to show you editing a page. So let me just edit a page. But this is going to be true wherever you see the content editor. Doesn't matter where, if it's a page, a sidebar box, a newsletter, an email, an autoresponder, wherever you see the content editor, you're going to see, it looks like an icon that's a clipboard with a piece of paper and the letter T on it. And when you hover your mouse over it, it says paste as text. You'll paste it. It's going to strip all the formatting, and it gets rid of all that inadvertent, unforeseen gobbledygook that's carried over from things like Word. And then you'll format it using the, whatever you need to use in your content editor here to format it and make it look right. So you use the paste as text. Leona says, I got a request for a free sample session consultation. Woohoo! But there was no name. Is there an option that an appointment can't be scheduled? Nope, there is not. There is, when somebody goes to your calendar, so let's go to your calendar. For example, if somebody comes to your website and they click here, first and foremost, you have to set up blocks of available time. Oh shoot, I don't have any in this particular training account. If I did and a prospect clicked on it, they have to complete the first name, they have to complete the last name, they have to schedule, the start time and stop time, and click schedule, and they're added as a contact. So if that happened to you, Leona, go in and submit a ticket and let them know the date that it happened. And they can do some research for you, but it is required. What I'm guessing is somebody wanted to book it with you, didn't want to give their name, so they hit the space bar a few times. That's one of the things that we're working on, because the space bar registered as characters, but they should have had a last name and some other elements. So definitely submit a support ticket, because that form, when somebody schedules, those fields are required and mandatory. Catherine asks, can you show an actual example of what appears custom opt-in form? Actually, I can tell you, Catherine. So what you're talking about is the custom opt-in form. Let me just show you where we're talking about this so everybody's on the same page. So in the website module in your console system, custom opt-in form. And let's say that we're creating a free gift, an opt-in for a free gift, right? So the opt-in form, there are several elements functioning behind the scenes related to any form. There is the group that contacts are put in when they enter their name in a specific form. There's autoresponder messages that are triggered when somebody puts their name in a form. There's a thank you page that's displayed when somebody puts their name in a form. And when you insert the code, get HTML code, for example, into another website, the only thing that's actually being inserted into that other website is the fields in the form itself. So the first name field, the last name field, the email field, and the subscribe button, that is the only like, and in this case, I chose the color blue and I called it download now. So you can customize the button label itself, the color and the text on that label. But the only thing that gets inserted into an existing website, Catherine, are these fields and the button. Anything else that you see, you would actually just customize the text on your existing website. So when you insert that form, it's just the fields and just the button. Let me show you what I mean by the button. Well, you guys get the idea. I'm not going to get that technical. You guys get the idea, and it's simply the form fields. Okay. So there's, I could show you different examples, but we would just be looking at those three fields. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Some more questions. We've got a few more minutes. Let's see if we can get them in. Hang on. All right, let me get back past these comments about the sound. Here we go. Hang on. Lily, you said, isn't my question visible? You know what? If I did, it got buried, and I apologize. Retype that into the webinar box, and I'll look for it again in the lineup. I'm doing my best to get through all of them, so I may have accidentally overlooked it. I did not mean to. Post your question again, and I'll take a look at it. Okay. Oh, Lily's saying, would you please post your support team on the chat box? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Post your support team on the chat box. Give me a little more explanation, Lily. I'm happy to do, sounds kind of interesting. So give me a little bit more information about what you mean by the support team and the chat box. And happy to take a look at that for you. Virginia asks, how do you connect a separate blog site? Well, the best way, Virginia, is through the Sidebar Boxes. If you are going to be using your Coaches Console website, just create like a follow me on my blog, give a little description, and so here's an example. Let me just edit this to show you. So you might even have a fun graphic that represents your blog, maybe a call to action, and then you would give the link to whatever your blog URL is. Again, I did a phrase, click here to get great tips from my blog, right? Whatever action phrase you want, and then use that insert edit link to insert the link to your blog. Okay, so that's the easiest and most effective way, is to create a sidebar box that displays on your home page. Ed asks another question about the calendar. And we're right at the top of the hour. I'm going to stay on the line for about 5 more minutes because we've got a few more questions. I just want to get those wrapped up. And if you can stay online, great. If not, I want to be mindful of your time. We'll sign off. This will be in the recording. So if you want to capture this, you can always access the recording at a time convenient for you. But in the meantime, Ed, the way that you, the one-way sync versus two-way sync is exactly that. Let me open up that synchronizing the instructions. A one-way sync means that stuff comes from your Coaches Console calendar, appointments come from your Coaches Console calendar. So let's say you choose Outlook. Any appointments you put on your Coaches Console calendar will be synchronized onto Outlook. That's it. If you schedule any appointments on Outlook, they will not be added to your console system. Right? And so all of these one-directional sync, it's just taking console appointments and putting on to the other third-party calendar. If you want all calendars to match, so if you, for example, if you use Outlook and you want your Outlook to match your console system and vice versa, you would use the Google Calendar two-way sync. Even if you don't use Google Calendar, it becomes a pass-through so that everything on your coaches, any appointments or blocks of available time on your Coaches Console calendar is synchronized and passed through Google to Outlook, let's say. And any appointments you schedule and originate on Outlook will synchronize through Google onto your console system. All right, so that's the difference between a one-way sync and a two-way sync. Let's see. Mary asks, I'm new, so I've decided to use Coach's Console for my site. Excellent. What will I do for my domain name? You actually have a couple of options, Mary. You can just use the URL that we provide you. So under website, when you enrolled, under settings, you can type in your website prefix. It might be Coach Mary for a while if you don't have a business name already. And you can just use the URL that we give you. You may also have a registered domain name, www.coachmary.com, and you can use that and redirect it. In last week's Tuesdays at 2 training, we went through in great detail exactly how to do that. So that might be a great resource for you to look at. We spent the whole hour looking at that, so that you can see exactly how to do that, and we give you 3 different options, okay? Paul asks, can we change label names like About Us or Start or Newsletter? Absolutely. You can edit any of your menus. Just click on menus and edit any of the menus to whatever you would like, okay? Diane asks, can you make an image into a URL? You sure can. So let me go back to that bio page, because not the menu. Let me go to the page. Hang on. So if you have a graphic that you want to turn into an image, like here, I've got a picture. It can be a photograph, it can be a picture, it can be an icon, whatever it is. Just click to highlight the image, Diane, and then click the Insert Edit link and just type in whatever that URL is, and then that image becomes a hyperlink itself, okay? Let's see here. Andrea says, can we add questions to the sample session form? Yep. Any of the forms, they're there for you to use. They're there for you to use exactly as is, edit. So here's that sample session prep form. When you click edit, you'll see the form questions. And anytime you want to edit anything in your console system, click on the settings bar, click edit, and you'll see the ability to edit. You can just highlight, delete, change text, whatever it is. Always save your question. I'm not going to do it in this case, but always save your question to save your changes, and then save your form, okay? Okay, a couple more questions, and then we'll wrap up. Rocky says, how do you paste written content onto a page? It says, you can do it a couple of ways, Rocky. If you're editing a form, a page, or anything, I've shown you that a couple times. When you're editing a page inside the content editor, you can use the icon itself for paste, or you can use Command C if you're on a Mac, or Control C if you're on, Command V to paste, or Control V if you're on a PC. So you've got either the keyboard commands or you've got the commands inside the content editor itself, okay? All right. Let's see, we've got a few more questions. You know what? To be mindful, I am going to go ahead and wrap up. If your question did not get answered on today's session, head over to the Facebook group, and myself, Kate, our tech team, our virtual assistants, they'll all be monitoring it, and we'll get your questions answered. I see a lot of questions that have been repeated, so I'm trusting that for those that are asking some repeating kind of questions, that you got your answer within the training already. 2 more quick questions. Karen says, what two-way sync do I use with Mac? Use that Google two-way sync. For any two-way sync, no matter what calendar you're using, use the Google two-way sync. And Susan asked a question, where do we access past Tuesdays at 2 calls? So I'm going to leave you with this, everybody. When you're in the support center, so when you're logged into your console system, you can click on customer support, or to access the same thing, you'll see the blue question mark in the lower left. When you click on that, it's going to open the support center in a new tab. There it is. This is where you have access to all video tutorials, the Getting Started Guide, frequently asked questions. You'll see Tuesdays at 2. All of the archived trainings are here. In fact, after we download this one will be here, and it's by module in your system. So if you have questions, Ed, for example, if you have more questions about your calendar, you'll see all the recordings that we have listed from our Tuesdays at 2 trainings here. Now, this isn't all the information about the calendar. These are just the Tuesdays at 2 archived webinars. So that's where you'll find it in the Support Center under Tuesdays at 2. You'll see it right there. Okay, and that's the Support Center is a great place to go to get all of your questions answered. And this is where you also submit a ticket. And Lily says to email to contact the support team. If you want to contact the support team, when you click on customer support, you'll see the orange submit a request. That'll open up a tech support, a help desk ticket. And you can ask your questions of our tech support team, and they will review it and respond to you within 24 hours. They'll get you the information that you're looking for, and we'll get you pointed in the right direction. So between the archived information within the Customer Support Center itself and the Submit a Request ticket is how you can access additional support. All right, everybody. Thank you for your extra few minutes and for your time, for your amazing questions. And we'll be back for another great topic next week. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.